Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. It's been a few minutes, but admittedly I have not opened Wizard101. Oh, hold on, young wizard. That area is not quite ready for you. Sorry, my bad for trying to enter Old Town. Anywho, my bad. Admittedly, it's been about 4 or 5 months since I've actually even launched Wizard101. It's been a little bit, so I was kind of taking a break, but I'm back, and I thought I'd make a video on a subject that I've been kind of curious about for a long time because I don't really know that much about it. So I was like, let me educate myself, let me see a little bit about it. And that is the world elixirs. Now, I believe I first saw these on the launcher. Like, it was like, hey, did you know that we now have world elixirs? And I'm like, what the heck is that? But after doing a little bit of research, if you guys don't know, these world elixirs right here in the crown shop, world elixirs, will let you skip an entire world. Now you can see here, they vary prices based on how many quests are actually in the world, approximately, I would say. So like, for example, Azteca and Chrysalis have some of the most amount of quests, and you can see Chrysalis has the most, so it's 13,000, which makes a little bit of sense because Chrysalis has like 270 quests. I believe Azteca has about 200, which is why it's a little bit less. Imperia and Avalon being the same as Azteca doesn't really make sense to me because they are a little bit less, but whatever. Zafaria being the same as Avalon in Imperia makes no sense. Celestia, Mirage, and Polaris are all pretty cheap. That's only 10 bucks or less, which makes a bit of sense because they are some of the shortest worlds. Now, you clicked on this video because you want to know, is it worth it to buy it? Now, short answer, I'm going to say this right now because I'll always get one of those comments on one of these opinion guide videos that's like, the short answer is no. And it's like, well, yeah, just watch the video. You know, it's only 10 minutes. You could do me a favor and just watch the video. But short answer for any who are too lazy to watch a 10-minute video, the short answer is really depends on how much money you're willing to throw at this game. If you have a bunch of real adult money and you want to spend it on this children's game, you can definitely use the world elixirs. But if you're like me, and you're more like, hey, I don't actually know, is it worth spending money on this? Is it actually worth the money compared to how much time it would take, so on and so forth? That's more what this video is for. So without further ado, enough rambling. Let me start off this video by explaining how exactly world elixirs work. Now, to use a world elixir, you have to have started the first quest of that world and not finished the last quest. So, for example, the second you get the quest to get into Azteca, which is the one where they send you to Marleybone Museum and you have to help that Quetzal, whatever. As soon as you get that quest, you can buy the Azteca world elixir, and as far as I know, you can purchase the elixir all the way up to the very last quest. Now, obviously, it would be really, really stupid to complete all of Azteca and then use the world elixir right at the end. But basically how it works, from what I understand, is it marks all the quests as completed, it gives you the XP of all the quests, and it sets your quest to having completed the last one. It just teleports you into Merle Ambrose's office. You have finished the world. Now, there's some positives and negatives to this. First off, positive, you obviously don't have to do the world. So if you really hate Azteca, like most people do in this game, you don't have to do any of Azteca. You can skip all of it. And realistically, that'll probably save you quite a bit of time. You know, a lot of people, if you're like me especially, I kind of get stuck in this game, as in like mentally, not actually because of the difficulty, but because, you know, I get to Azteca and then my motivation is kind of killed and I'm like, I don't really want to play Wiz anymore. So I have wizards that are just stuck in Azteca permanently because I get too like, you know, out of it to actually want to do it. So that removes that aspect and you just complete the world, which is good. Now, negatives of this, first off, it only gives you the exact amount of XP that every quest gives. So for a lot of these worlds, you'll be a little underleveled towards the end just because you haven't completed any side objectives, you haven't completed any dungeon quests that you normally would have done at the time. Not dungeons of the world, but like side dungeons. So I saw a lot of people online say they bought this elixir in Celestia and it set them to around level 58 to 59, which for Celestia is slightly underleveled because most people will be at least level 60 by the time they exit Celestia, and will probably even be somewhere in the 62 to 63 range if you're doing side dungeons like Waterworks, Zigzag, whatnot. Another negative is you don't get any gear drops. So for example, like continuing on with the Celestia line, Celestia has a lot of the Celestine gear drops, which, while you can't sell it to Bazaar, you can feed to your pet. You get hundreds of thousands of gold throughout all of Celestia, and that can be pretty useful to have that gold, whether that be to hatch a new pet, or use it on literally anything else in the game, you're not getting any of that because you're not getting drops from the world. You're just kind of teleporting towards the end of the world. So that's a bit of a negative. I'm sure you can find a few other negatives, but that's the major ones as far as I can kind of give you directly, which is you'll be a bit underleveled, less gear drops. Now that I've explained how it works and kind of what the gist of it, what's my opinion on it, is it worth actually buying them or not? Well, if you add it up directly, a lot of these world elixirs, I mean, technically are worth it just in sheer terms of value. Because, for example, how long will it take you to do Chrysalis? Probably like, I don't know, 15 plus hours. The Chrysalis elixir is only, with like a minimum wage job, like 3 hours of work. So technically, just in terms of sheer value, yes, it is worth it to buy all of these elixirs. But my opinion on it, honestly, none of the elixirs are worth buying for a few reasons. First off, you're playing a video game. Video games are supposed to be fun and you're supposed to enjoy them. Why you would spend money to not play the video game doesn't really make any sense to me. The only exception of this I can find is, again, something like Azteca, where you're just genuinely not having any fun and you want to move on. But still, I think skipping it is just weird. It's weird to play a game and be like, hey, I'm gonna pay money to not play the game. That doesn't make sense. Why are you even playing Wiz at that point? On top of that, and this is something that, you know, not everyone really likes, but I very much enjoy, is I like the vibe of this game and I like the story and the quests. Like, I know not everyone pays attention to it, but to me, doing the stories and quests of Wizard101 is almost half the fun, if not more than half of the fun. And to kind of remove that aspect of the game, at that point, why are you even playing? Because realistically, the gameplay combat loop of this game is incredibly dated and incredibly boring with the whole blade AoE meta type thing that we've had for years that KingsIsle doesn't do anything to fix because it's quote unquote our fault for just falling into the meta, which that's a whole other can of worms that I don't want to get into. But yeah, that is a real thing that KingsIsle said, by the way, is that it's our fault as players for choosing to not use the cards that don't have any value, which, again, whole other can of worms. We're just going to ignore that. I could make probably 5+ videos on that topic, but I'm not going to right now. It just seems really strange and entirely pointless to kind of take one of the only aspects of fun in this game and spend money to remove it. So realistically, I would not buy any of these world elixirs. I think it's a waste of money. It's a waste of actually playing the game. Like, sure, these ones are only $10, Celestia, Mirage, and Polaris, but out of all of these worlds, the only one I would even want to skip would be Celestia, and I still wouldn't really want to skip it. It's just like, I don't really like Celestia. It's like a C tier world, whereas like Polaris and Mirage are some of the best worlds in this game. I have no idea why you would ever spend money to skip them. Like, it makes no sense. Azteca and Chrysalis, I think, are the only world elixirs that do make a modicum of sense. Like, having the option to skip Azteca for $20 or Chrysalis for like $25, it makes sense. It's like something that I could see a lot of people doing. But I'd be curious with how many people have actually bought these elixirs. Like, if you actually have, let me know in the comments below. I kind of doubt many of you have. I'd like a KingsIsle statistic. Like, how many people have actually spent money on these world elixirs, and which ones are they buying? Because if I had to guess, I would say people are only buying the Azteca and Chrysalis ones, and even then, it's probably not that many people that are actually doing it. Like, if I'm being honest, out of all of the elixirs that you can do here, like the world elixirs, I think it would make way more sense to buy a level 50 elixir, which I can't find because, here it is, because it wasn't usable, but I would think it would make way more sense to buy this because the level 50 elixir, admittedly, it's quite a bit more expensive than the other ones, but it skips all of Arc 1, which I think isn't the worst arc. I think it's a very fun arc and it's a very nostalgic arc, but everyone has probably done it like 15+ times. Like, I've definitely done Arc 1 like 20+ times throughout my life. So I think skipping it would make more sense, and it gives you gear and puts you halfway through Winter Tusk. My point is, realistically, out of all of these world elixirs, I don't think it makes any sense to buy them when it would make more sense to buy a level 50 elixir, but even then, why are you spending money to skip the game? is the overall gist of this video. So sorry for the lack of uploads for the last few months, but this is a video I've had in mind for a while. I was actually thinking of making it a while ago, but so many different things have come up in the last few months. Like last month, if you didn't see my community post, I got my gallbladder removed, which was kind of a crazy experience of my life. Took a few weeks to recover. I'm fine now. Some other stuff has happened in my life that's a bit stressful, but we're back. I'm gonna upload a few videos. I have some more things in mind. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, hit the sub button. I'm back for a little while at least, so, you know, if you want to stick around, see what's going down, feel free. If not, that's fine too. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a fantastic day.